Hi learners, welcome to the 70th lesson of my course Ecology from Cells to Gaia. Today we will talk about sustainability. Resource use by human beings is defined as sustainable if it can be continued for the foreseeable future. The root of most environmental problems is the population problem, a large human population that has been growing at a more than exponential rate. Three groups of nations can be recognized: those that passed through the demographic transition early, late, or not yet. Even if were possible instantaneously to bring about the transition in all remaining countries of the world, the population problem will not be solved, partially because population growth has its own momentum. The global carrying capacity for human beings is variously estimated at between 1 and 1,000 billion, depending mainly on what is deemed to constitute an acceptable standard of living. Whenever a natural population is exploited by harvesting, there is a risk of overexploitation. But harvesters also want to avoid underexploitation when potential consumers are deprived of resources. The concept of the maximum sustainable yield, MSY, has been a guiding principle in the exploitation of natural populations. There are two simple ways of obtaining an MSY on a regular basis: through a fixed quota or through a fixed effort. Two limitations of the MSY approach are that it treats all individuals in the population as identical and that it treats the environment as unvarying. Improved harvesting strategies correct both these oversights. Lack of knowledge of most fisheries around the world means that management is often based on the precautionary principle, often in the absence of data. Increasingly, animals and plants have been domesticated and managed in a way that allowed much larger harvests, usually as a monocultures. But a high price may be paid to maintain this high rate of food production. Monocultures offer ideal conditions for the epidemic spread of disease and lead to widespread degradation of land. In an ideal sustainable world, new soil would be formed as fast as the old was lost, but in most agricultural systems this is not achieved. When there is an overwhelming reliance on artificial fertilizers, maintaining the organic matter capital of the soil tend to be neglected, and this has declined worldwide. Soil degradation can be slowed down by incorporating manure and residues, alternating cultivation and fallow periods, or returning the land to grassed pasture. In tropical regions, cultivation is more difficult because most of the nutrients are in the biomass and not in the soil. In arid regions, instead, overgrazing and excessive cultivation can lead to desertification and salinization. Water is widely thought to be the resource that future wars will be fought over. On a global scale, agriculture is the largest consumer of fresh water, and pumping fresh water from underground aquifers is the main cause of loss of the agricultural land through salinization. The aim of pest control is to reduce the pest population to its economic injury level, but a so-called economic threshold may be of more immediate importance. Pesticides may kill species other than they target and may give rise to target pest resurgence or secondary pest outbreaks. Pests may also evolve pesticide resistance. Biologists may also manipulate the natural enemies of pests, in a way that is called biological control, via three forms of biological control, that is incorporation, conservation, or inoculation, but even biocontrol agents can have unwanted effect on non-target species. Integrated pest management, IPM, is a practical philosophy of pest management that is ecologically based but uses all methods of control where appropriate. It relies heavily on natural mortality factors and calls for specialist pest managers or advisors. Evidence has been accumulating that organic production as a sustainable farming approach can yield improved economic returns too. It is clear that very significant threats are posed to ecosystems around the world by the increasing human population and concomitant increases to agricultural development. These are expected to have a particular damaging effect on biodiversity because most agricultural growth is predicted to occur in the species-rich tropics. The production of coffee, chocolate, tea, palm oil, and other tropical foods is considered one of the main causes of tropical deforestation. So, at the end of this lesson, I have some questions for you. What is sustainability? Then, is it possible to have sustainable population growth? Next question, is it possible to have sustainable use of fossil fuels? Or is it possible to have sustainable use of forestries? So please try to answer this question and see you in next lecture.